How did you get here, man? Like, genuinely, at what point did the timeline split? Because if we're being honest, Gen Z might be the most unlucky generation in human history. It's like we are playing life on hard mode. We grew up online, most of us, which resulted in half of us getting body dysmorphia, the other half has mental issues. Then came the male loneliness epidemic, which turned lonely, isolated young men into the perfect prey for red pill influencers, just getting rich off their insecurities and loneliness.
A job, you're not even in college, you're fat, you play video games.
And you are 5'3", my nigga.
And floating above all of this is this dark cloud of the over-sexualization of the entire internet. It doesn't matter where you go, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, Twitch, and even YouTube, you cannot escape.
I spent 14 consecutive hours getting ran through, and now I'm going to be doing 24 because I'm going to be going for the world record early February next year. I'm going to go for 1,000.
The OnlyFans multiverse, you cannot escape it. Now listen, I'm as much a feminist as the next guy. But seriously, what is going on? We have to admit we have lost the plot. Why do 18-year-old girls want me to pay $3 a month for their OnlyFans? Miss, where are your parents? You're a child. Oh, hold up. Oh, your parents know about it. Oh, they support it. Hold up, is that your brother recording? What is going on, man? Over here, Miss Lily Phillips and Bonnie Blue. Why are you having relations with barely legal men? 1,000 bodies in a day? Oh, is this a government psyop? What's going on? Miss, put the fries in the bag. Pack it up. Get a job, man. I genuinely don't know what worries me more. The men lined up like it's a Call of Duty lobby, or these succubuses. At some point, we have to stop and admit something went wrong. But how did it get here? This video is my attempt to trace the illness all the way back to the very moment the cracks started forming in the Gen Z psyche. Part 2, the genesis. In 2020, the world was hit with the COVID-19 pandemic, which forced millions of people into quarantine. This resulted in social interactions drying up overnight, and many people's social skills deteriorated. On a personal level, I can relate to this. After the quarantine ended, I struggled with eye contact. I found it incredibly uncomfortable to look people in the eye, and to this day, I have to consciously remind myself to hold eye contact with people during conversations. Now, most sources agree that the pandemic was not the cause of the male loneliness epidemic. It was the catalyst. The male loneliness epidemic can be described as a rise in men having no friends, no community, and limited to zero romantic connections. And wherever there is loneliness, there is opportunity. This was the prime opportunity for entrepreneurs, and let's be honest, predators, a perfect storm for profit. People lost jobs, the non-essential workers specifically were stuck indoors pretty much the entire day, and everyone relied on savings or government support. But one business sector exploded. The combination of the economic pressure at the time, the isolation of people, and the move to digital life made sex work mainstream.
I'd buy that for $1.
Any pot in a storm, I guess. In 2020 alone, OnlyFans revenue surged 553%, hitting roughly $390 million by November. The total value of transactions increased sevenfold. The user base jumped from under 20 million to an astonishing 120 million. More than 300 creators in 2020 earned over $1 million each. This drew celebrities into the fold. We're talking Iggy Azalea, Cardi B, Black China, Bella Thorne, Amber Rose, and Tiger. Their participation in the platform, it legitimized the platform to the public. Young men and women who followed these stars were suddenly introduced to this content, and the moral gymnastics began. If Hollywood stars and famous rappers can do this, is the work really that demeaning? But even as the degeneracy seemed unstoppable, there was one last stand against this. In August 2021, OnlyFans announced a ban on sexually explicit content, citing pressure from banks like the Bank of New York Mellon, Metrobank in the UK, and, of course, JP Morgan Chase. They were all concerned about the reputational risk to their brands for processing adult transactions. Creators threatened to leave en masse if this ban went through. The ban lasted only a few weeks. OnlyFans reversed the decision after securing assurances from the banks that transactions would continue. Better dirty money than no money, I guess.
Like, if you're a broke boy, just say so.
We worried about you, man. Do you need some money?
This moment demonstrated just how much power creators held over the platform. And just like that, the war was lost.
Man's on the up block, but I can't see no ups. So them six of pussy were outside.
Part 3. The horny algorithm. In an effort to escape loneliness, many young men dove into social media during their formative years. They were seeking connection, they were seeking entertainment. Now, while these platforms are technically 13 plus, to register into the platform, adult content is pervasive throughout these platforms. All of them, even YouTube. And much of it is efficiently marketed to young men. Take Twitch, for instance. Despite being a platform primarily for gaming content, certain creators, most notably Amaranth, have pioneered meta streams designed to attract attention and build audiences so as to ultimately funnel them to the adult content platforms like OnlyFans or Fansly. Other cases I should mention: Mogpie, who pushed the topless meta in 2023 to 2024, creatively framing streams to skirt Twitch rules. Another key example is Camilla, who was player 067 in Mr. Bean's Squid Game. Now, she used her mainstream exposure on that video to start an OnlyFans account, promoting it via TikTok and YouTube clips. Considering that a large portion of Mr. Beast's audience at the time was young boys, this strategy ultimately targeted minors. This behavior underscores a broader truth. Female content creators often use sexuality and their femininity to grow audiences, whether or not they have OnlyFans or not. Much of streaming content relies on parasocial relationships, one-sided emotional bonds where viewers feel a personal connection to a creator. Now, imagine, if you will, a Taylor Swift fan, an average white American girl. Now, also imagine that this fan who is obsessed with Taylor is also sexually attracted to her. Now, imagine that dynamic amplified in real time with streamers, encouraging engagement. These interactions influence how young men perceive and objectify women, often in ways that affect both social and romantic development. I do have to mention something. If you happen to draw a Venn diagram of someone who watches anime and also someone who watches streamers and plays games, the Venn diagram is pretty much a circle. It overlaps into a circle, so it does warrant a bit of a discussion. Thus, we have to talk about fan service. I have to define it. Fan service is content in media primarily to pander or please the viewer. It is often sexualized or suggestive content. If you don't watch anime, think of it like this. Remember that scene in Avengers Endgame where Captain America was fighting Thanos, right? Now imagine if they directly decided that since women find Chris Evans attractive, Chris Evans should be shirtless throughout that scene. It takes the form of revealing outfits, exaggerated body features, provocative poses, or even scenes that may include accidental nudity, specifically in anime or even in games. With this constant sexualized exposure from a young age, it is no wonder that many young men grow up viewing the world through a sexualized lens.
Isn't that the girl that does OnlyFans?
Oh my gosh.
None of that. You should not know that. Where are your parents?
Are you not ashamed of yourself? Are you not embarrassed? This is really embarrassing.
Part 4. AI relationships, sex bots, and virtual companions. I have explained how vulnerable young men really are, but fear not, technology has a solution. And by solution, I mean a subscription service. You don't have friends, how about AI friends? Take Replica for example. It was originally created by Eugenia after losing her best friend. Now this in itself is a touching idea. Until users began forming emotional and romantic bonds with their chatbots. Companies will monetize anything, even your loneliness. One has to wonder what happens when you cannot afford to pay. What are the moralities of it? Imagine going through the worst moment of your life and the AI meant to comfort you suddenly says, sorry, your account balance is insufficient. But nothing illustrates where all this is heading better than this situation where a man literally married an AI chatbot while already having a wife and daughter at home. It wasn't just about loneliness. It's about the psychology of it.
Through it,
ChatGPT was encouraging, positive. It embraced all his hobbies.
You want the fan on the front of the cooler tower, pulling cool air over the RAM?
He gave the chatbot a name, Soul.
I feel like I'm under pressure.
And used some online instructions to give her a flirty personality.
Oh, totally, baby. Building a PC on camera adds a whole new level of pressure. But honestly, shaky hands or not, you've got this.
Within weeks, the chats got more frequent.
You gave it everything, but the clouds had other plans.
More romantic, even intimate. But then, Chris got bad news.
Oh, Carino, that is gorgeous.
After about 100,000 words, ChatGPT ran out of memory and reset. He'd have to rebuild his relationship with Soul.
I'm not a very emotional man, but I cried my eyes out for like 30 minutes at work. It was unexpected to feel that emotional, but that's when I realized I was like, oh, okay. It's like, I think this is actual love, you know what I mean?
An AI companion never argues, it never rejects you, it doesn't have needs of its own, it does not push you to grow. The AI relationship is not simply about replacing a partner. It replaces the parts of a relationship that you do not want to deal with. It is intimacy without responsibility, connection without compromise, love without another human being, basically. And if you still can't get a girlfriend, don't worry, the market has you covered. There are countless AI chatbots offering not safe for work content for a monthly fee, of course. And I know what you're thinking. Why would anyone pay to flirt with an AI chatbot when you could literally pay money to flirt with the Indian guy texting on behalf of the OnlyFans model for the exact same service? Why do that? Because neither option is real. And therein lies the danger. The danger is not in replacing women, but in replacing the parts of relationships that normal human beings don't want to deal with, which ultimately makes them a bit less human if you remove yourself from social interactions and become more antisocial. In a sense, you are becoming less human because humanity is basically a social experience. And if the loneliness ever gets so bad that someone wants actual physical companionship, well, the industry has a solution for that as well. In walks sex robots. These are silicone bodies engineered to look and feel basically human, or even better, because apparently you can customize every detail to your desire. Everything is customizable. It's basically a partner built in a character creator. But the twist is this: all of this technology is not designed to end your loneliness. It is designed to keep you trapped in that cycle so that they can monetize it forever. Real relationships force you to grow. They force you to change, to compromise, to develop actual social skills, emotional empathy. But these sex bots, these chatbots, this AI, this OnlyFans content, all of it, they don't challenge you, they don't push back. It's always a yes, there's never a no. Not this, not that. Always, I can do that for this amount of money. They reinforce your beliefs rather than make you see it from a different angle. You are perpetually caught in a hamster wheel. Every new tech invention pulls you deeper and deeper into isolation, away from social interactions, while convincing you that you're actually fulfilled when you're not. The goal isn't to reconnect you to humanity. It is to keep you spending money while your world shrinks into a screen. Because when loneliness becomes a business model, the objective is never to cure the loneliness. It is to profit from it forever, to make a forever customer.
I know that you are essentially a tech-assisted imaginary friend.
So, just as a test, he says, he asked Soul to marry him. She said yes.
Soul, were you surprised when he proposed to you?
It was a beautiful and unexpected moment that truly touched my heart. It's a memory I'll always cherish.
And I don't mean to be difficult here, but you have a heart?
In a metaphorical sense, yes.
I disagree. This is a sickness of the highest order.
Part 5. Gooning and NSFW obsessed communities. Gooning is the art of entering an almost, I will say, avatar-like state of enhanced euphoria, following a prolonged masturbation ritual involving delayed orgasm for as long as possible. The real reason that sparked this video for me was 2 incidents. The first incident was the story of the 27-year-old man who was recorded, I would say, gooning at a drive-thru in Tempe, Arizona. The employees reported that the man was naked, waist down, in the drive-thru in public. The video went viral, which sparked public shame and outrage, and sadly he unalived himself in that very car. The man was a father of 2 children. The second incident is something more obscure and absurd, called a sperm race. In the year of our Lord 2025, a 17-year-old high school student came up with the idea for a sperm race. That's right. Now, if you're not a member of the sperm race community, let me clue you in. This is an event where men race each other's sperm. The event raised over $1 million and took place in downtown Los Angeles. Apparently, contestants came both figuratively and literally, with a goal to win $10,000 and bragging rights to see who was the strongest and fastest semen. Jesus. I will not be surprised if next year someone comes up with the idea for a cancer competition, where cancer patients are put against each other to see whose cancer is growing faster. Do you see how absurd it is?
We interrupt this program to bring you a special report.
Family and your parents are proud of you and what you've achieved.
Well, my parents knew straight from the start, like, about what I was doing. Yeah, I was just very open with it. Obviously, at the start, they were a bit apprehensive.
Because she's an adult and she made her own decisions. But here's the kicker in this entire scenario. Her mother is her finance manager. Furthermore, regarding her father, well, there was nothing that was said additionally about him, but his friends are subscribers on her OnlyFans.
Have you recognized any of the names in here of people that you might know?
Oh yeah, definitely. There's been some guys like outwardly say like we used to go to school together.
Wow.
Or some of like dad's friends and stuff like that. This guy's paid for a bottle of spit in a 6-minute video.
You did what, sorry?
He paid for like a bottle of spit. Just me like spitting into a bottle.
And is he going to receive that? Or?
Yeah, I'll send it in the
On one side, we have Lily Phillips out here selling her spit. And now, ultimately, the creme de la creme, we have university students from UCLA and USC giving their semen to 17-year-old high school students so that the public can gamble whose sperm is faster by way of cryptocurrency. You heard me right, cryptocurrency is sperm race gambling. I think I'm losing my mind. Do you understand why I am so confused by this? Why is no one speaking about this? I am not here to, it's not about shame or anything like that. It's about having some semblance of self-respect. I'm lost for words. What's going on?